Bienvenidos a Sherlock Holmes vs. Arsène Lupin.
Myatt?
Yes, that's it. How did you know?
Watson, Prime Minister, quick, sound the alarm. Lupin is in the Queen's chamber.
What made me accept this infernal contraption? Tomorrow I will have it carved into kindling for the fire.
If Her Majesty will permit, I would rather avoid risking death yet again in what Her Majesty calls this infernal contraption. I was able to hold my breath long enough to avoid drowning, but that wouldn't help me against
The hangman?
Your Majesty understands well. My fate is entirely in your hands, like so many others. My intentions are not hostile. In fact, they are quite the contrary.
They are what then?
Many times I have found myself in a similar situation, and the words came naturally, because they flow from my spirit, which has fain been called poetic, lyric, and imaginative. Words. Nothing but words and rhetoric, often to an end above reproach. I stand before you, after having risked my life and still risking it in what I had until now only considered a game. The words won't come to me because the game is over. The words that I should say to you won't come because they are buried deep. These fragile words that are frightened of emerging, these words that come from the heart. The words that I know I owe you, Your Majesty. My Queen. My love.
Believe me, madame, if I was to steal something, it would only be a kiss.
You won't be stealing anything. I will give you a kiss willingly.
No, señora.
Open up, Your Majesty!
Is all well, Your Grace?
Break down the door!
Your subjects are there, and so ends my gallant game, and, with them, my life. But these precious seconds are the lifetime. Show them, Arsène, how a French gentleman in love behaves.
And continue to amuse yourself.
Your Majesty, are you going to...
Hush up, you impudent plodders. Who do you think you are to speak in my presence without having been asked? Look at you, a bunch of incompetents, covered in titles and stripes. You are supposed to guarantee my safety and that of England, which amounts to the same thing. In the end, I had to defend the place myself.
But, Your Majesty...
Suffice. Even the most compassionate of monarchs cannot be permitted to excuse the vermin. Chauncey, have the royal luggage prepared. We will withdraw to Windsor presently. Leomunda, you will accompany me. And you, silence this bell before I have an overwhelming urge to decapitate it.
You and I, Lupin.
Estamos solos en la habitación. Claramente tengo que ir para ahí.
Water.
Ahora,
Lupin was hidden in the clock. Well played.
ahora
Elementary. This is how Lupin vanished.
vamos
Here I am
Vamos a
in the
por
cellar
ti.
of Buckingham Palace. All of these odds and ends must represent what remains of the sumptuous gifts given to the crown throughout centuries.
no habrá robado nada acá, ¿no? No,
The
mirá.
ground here is slightly sloped. This organ is dilapidated, but the steel tubes are made of a resistant metal. None were damaged in the fall, and they haven't oxidized over time. The wood of this statue is intact. It must be quite heavy, but it's possible to lift it slightly.
Ok, ya supongo que
Nothing
no puedo
special
ir.
here. Nothing special here.
Tampoco.
Lupin must have hooked the lock, but it closed behind him. This grill isn't in good condition. Will it yield through force?
No tengo nada en el inventario. Oh, ok, ahora sí tengo.
This organ is dilapidated, but the steel tubes are made of a resistant metal. None were damaged in the fall, and they haven't oxidized. The wood of this statue is intact. It must be quite... The wood of this statue is intact. It must be quite heavy, but it's... Lupin must have hooked the lock.
Metal tools.
Nothing special here. Nothing special here. Lupin must have hooked the lock, but it closed behind him. This grill isn't in good condition. Will it yield through force?
¿Eh? Ah. Ahora sí.
You and I, Lupin. It's done now, but Lupin knows that someone is after him now. Lupin, he's there. Nothing special here. The opening mechanism of this grill seems to be quite sophisticated. I need something.
Necesito algo. Ok.
This grill is closed, and there's no hope to force it open as it's in such good condition.
No puedo agarrar estas
These
cosas del
shanks
piso.
are
Sí,
from the
pude.
lock. The opening mechanism of this grill.
Bien. ¿Y esto que lo puedo girar? Sí, lo puedo girar. Entonces. Ah, una cosa es igual a la otra. Ok. Acá dice 10, 11, 12. Más. Acá hay espacio para poner lo que sea. Más 2 en este caso. Sería 14. Menos. Supongo que si es la L realmente. Entonces es 50, creo. En un momento. La L sí significa 50, 52. Entonces ahí tendríamos 50, 62. 62 arriba. Y la C significa 100. Significa que me está faltando algo ahí. Además serían... No. ¿Qué cuentas que hago? Sería menos. Puede ser una M. La M es 1000, pero ahí ya nos vamos. ¿Cómo hago una D? Está igual, una D también es un montón. Y acá una C. A ver. Que esto acá suelto no tiene que ir. Que esto claramente tiene que ir acá. Por ende, ¿no? Acá tiene que haber algo más. C es 100. 100 positivo. Y acá se resta, claro, pero acá tenés 50. ¿Puedo poner una C acá? No puedo poner una C. A no ser que... No, pero va a ser negativo también. Entonces ahora podríamos llegar... Porque L es 50, C es 100. Y acá tendría que restar solamente. Bien, tengo que contar ahora. Tenemos 52, otros 2 por ahí, 10 y otros 2. Arriba actualmente es 66. Entonces abajo tenemos 100 positivos y tenemos que empezar a restarle cosas. Aquí tenemos 5, 6, 7, 7. Es que no tengo el espacio para restarle 50. O sea, ni siquiera esto. Necesito 3 espacios. A no ser que le ponga más cosas arriba. Claramente esto no puedo... Si no, no tiene sentido. Acá abajo, si yo no le pongo el signo de más, no tiene sentido. Esto podría ponerlo hasta acá. 5, 6, 7 y 8. Creo que el 8 también es así. Bien, 96 tendría que llegar lo de arriba. Actualmente son 66. Menos 2, 64. Aunque entiendo que en 1 puedo poner una X. Entonces podría poner 10 más acá y 20 más acá. Más 10, más otros 10. 86 más otros 10, quedarían 96. Creo que me estaría faltando algo. 100. A ver si puedo hacer eso. No me quedan más.
Open.
¡Ay! Me asusté. La verdad pensé que estaba mal hecha la cuenta. Entonces quería chequearlo. Creo que perdí el aliento.
All of these objects are ancient. They must be from the Norman era. Closed.
Close. ¿Qué es eso?
Closed.
Un paro cardíaco.
The bow of this Norman longship is very heavy and seems quite sturdy. The bow of this Norman longship is very heavy and seems...
Cállate.
This may prove to be useful. Closed.
No puedo
Closed.
engancharla ahí.
The bow of this Norman longship is very heavy and...
No hace.
I need something. I need something. The bow of this Norman longship is very heavy and seems quite sturdy. I need something. This may prove to be useful. I need something.
¿Tengo que mezclarlos? Sí.
I must have made a mistake. Time to think. No, I can't do that. I must have made a mistake. Time to think.
What?
I must have made a mistake. Time to think. This part is in poor condition. Elementary.
Ok. Espero que no haya estado abajo. Vámonos.
I came down a level. I must find a way to get back up.
Qué bizarro.
This bagpipe is capable of releasing air under great pressure. That can surely be of use to me. This collection of costumes is magnificent. All are in excellent condition. This may prove to be useful. Nothing special here. It's part of an Indian totem. 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 It's part of an Indian totem.